And welcome back, everybody, to Doc Bob Lee. And you're watching Open, that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. Stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Now, leading things off, our first guest is a Chicago native, author, visionary leader, and speaker in learning innovations. She has also that community development and life coaching experience. So she's with us today to highlight her latest book, Bean Pie, a remembering of our family's faith, Fortitude, and Forgiveness. Please welcome to the show, Tiffany Green-Abdullah. Tiffany, welcome.
Good morning, Dr. Lee. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now, you look like you're sitting in a very, very cozy area, although I can tell that you're from Chicago, but you're in Atlanta,
Hmm.
right?
Yes, yes, I am right now broadcasting from the West End Park. Today is Eid al-Fitr, which is the commemoration of the end of Ramadan for Muslims. So we
Yes.
just did our community prayer right out here. It's probably a couple thousand people walking around behind me.
Yeah, for those who don't know about Ramadan, explain it.
So Ramadan is the 30 days that Muslims fast during from sunup to sundown in order to, it helps you um, strengthen your faith,
Yeah.
understand what it's like to be poor, to be without, have compassion for the less fortunate. Um, and so we
Mhm.
fast from lots of different things, but food and water during from sunup to sundown.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Listen, Tiffany, what is the inspiration behind this, the writing of the bean pie?
So, I started writing through a book writing course right at the top of 2020, kind of right before everything kicked off with you know what. And I was talking to my mother about the bean pie. So, all my life, I've been told that my great great aunt Daisy created the bean pie. And when I converted to Islam around 2009, I became more curious about the bean pie because I would see people at my mosque selling them.
Yeah.
I started making them. So originally the book was going to be just the origin story of the bean pie, but in conversations with my mother,
Yeah.
the book got deeper in terms of like her childhood, her story, my grandmother's story, as well
Wow.
as my great great aunt's story. So it's a multi generational memoir of
Uh-huh.
four African American women, starting in 1910 all the way to 2020.
Wow. So this bean pie was started in your family.
Yes, yes. I mean, and I have been researching for years, putting it all together, the story. But
Hmm.
yes, my second great aunt Daisy created the bean pie through her little restaurant eatery in Detroit, Michigan. She was one of
Yeah.
the earliest members of the Nation of Islam.
So it's a wonderful thing that you're documenting this whole thing. Are you going to maybe
Yes.
try to get into like a documentary or film?
I'm talking to
Ah.
a good friend of mine who's an entertainment lawyer in New York,
Uh-huh.
and talking about a television series actually.
Look at that. There you go. Hey, you
Hmm.
never know where it's going to go.
You never
Now
know.
you're in
You
it.
never
But why
know.
was it so important for you to share your family story?
You know, being part of the Black Muslim community, I kept doing research and trying to
Uh,
figure out the origin story of the bean pie, and my family was sitting right in the center of it. And there was no documentation of the true history of the bean pie. So it was sort of that assignment, right?
yeah.
And that assignment that I decided to take up. And 2 years later, I had a 330 page book written. This is
Yeah.
my early copy that I write in. But that was really the inspiration and telling the story. It wasn't really even about the book. It was
Right.
about telling my children the story and telling my cousins and my nieces
Mm.
and nephews about who their family is, and reclaiming our legacy as it relates to the bean pie.
But wait, Tiffany, if your aunt has that great recipe from the bean pie, what else does she have?
Well, she was known for making the bean soup and the bean pie. I actually
Ah.
make both. I
Yeah.
make both, and
You do?
I sell the bean pies. Yes, I sell my
So
book,
that
the bean
recipe
pie
passed
and the bean
down through
pie.
generation, right? Through the
Yes,
generations?
yes. So I didn't have the exact like on paper recipe, but I made my version of the bean pie through my mother's taste buds. she would keep tasting it until I got it right. And I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
bring her some, from my mosque, and she would say, no, no, ours is a little different. It's not so wet, and I would just keep tweaking it until she said, that's it.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah, yeah.
remember.
I've eaten many of them. Now, where
Well,
can we
I'll
go
have
to?
to send you one.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Where can we go to get yours? Are you? Well, you're all the way in Atlanta. I gotta
I
travel out
I
to
am in
Atlanta to get.
Atlanta. You could come whenever you come here. I will definitely make you some bean pies. But
All
my
right.
website is thebeanpie.com. So if people are local, they can order on my website, and we just figure out how to get it to them. I'm not at the point where I can legally ship pies to
Yeah,
people. But they can get the book on Amazon, and they can get as well as thebeanpie.com.
that's right. When I take my little trip out there to South Carolina, I'll go to Atlanta and I'll visit the radio station out there, 103, and then I'll give you a call and say, hey, I'm in town.
Oh, yeah.
And if you
Oh
give me
yeah.
some
Just
bean
let me know
pies,
when you're coming.
they won't make it back to South Carolina.
Look, I made three last night
Uh huh.
for the breaking of fast, and I think there is half of one pie left,
Yeah. Oh,
and it's
see.
five people in my house.
Oh yeah.
So
That's gone.
yeah, yeah.
What would you like? What message would you like readers to take away from your book?
The message is that I wrote this book really as remembrance, as activism,
Mm-hmm.
because right as I was writing this book, everything was going on, right, with George Floyd, the protests, right at the sort of the heart of when I was writing and crafting a manuscript.
Yeah.
And I wanted my family's, legacy to be remembered. And, the fact is, all of us have stories. All of our grandmothers, great
Absolutely.
aunts, all have incredible stories that the reason why you and I are even sitting here today is because of them,
Yeah.
right? And so we have to tell our stories, and I really believe in Sankofa, which is looking back for the things we lost, so that we can look forward to the future. And
Yeah.
that future in my family includes the bean pie, and retaking and reclaiming that legacy. In terms of a industry, and elevating the bean pie out into the world as a culinary delicacy,
Uh,
a true Black American culinary tradition that's truly American, as well as the other things that my family is working on in terms of being in business and such.
yeah. Tiffany, where can we go to get more information on what you're doing?
You can go to my website, thebeanpie.com, as well as you can purchase the book on Amazon under The Bean Pie, A
Mm.
Remembering.
Tiffany, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing. Okay.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Lee.
And good luck with everything. I know you got another part two coming up. Tiffany Green-Abdullah, author Bean Pie. She's got that book out there, Remembering Our Family's Faith, Fortitude, and Forgiveness. We're going to take a quick break right here. I've got more open coming your way. Don't move.